This being my personal channel and me having so much of my time occupied by game ranks, I don't always have enough time on here to talk about every single game I want to. I had a lot to say about Ghost Recon because it's kind of weird. I'm obsessed with Yakuza 0. I wanted to talk about Logan on here. I wanted to talk about Gravity Rush. I wanted to talk more about Resident Evil 7. There's so much to go on, but right now I have time and I do want to talk about Nier Automata. This game is really fucking good. I have to recommend it to you if you're on PC or PS4. I am loving the hell out of this game. This is the only thing that really managed to pull me away from my Zelda Breath of the Wild obsession, and it's for good reason. It is an incredibly varied and fun and exciting game that if you judge it by its cover, you're going to think it's just a weird anime game, but it is totally not. This is a Platinum game, and by Platinum I mean when Platinum is firing on all cylinders and they're really fucking good. This is a perfect example of it. This thing is right up there with Bayonetta easily, and it is so much fun. I think what I like about it most is that it is, yes, a traditional action RPG. You run around, you have stats, you have items that you use, you have a heavy attack, you have a light attack, you have a dodge, it's fast paced, there's a lock on, but the game so seamlessly transitions to these top down shooter moments and 360 degree shooter moments and 2D platformer moments and airplane based shoot 'em up moments and mech fights. The game has so much variety that it is constantly switching on its head. It's unlike anything I've ever played, and it's impressive how well the game switches it up. I know the original Nier had some of this, but it wasn't as seamless as this, and it doesn't have that Platinum style. This game has style in spades, and I don't mean style really in the presentation, which it does, but in the gameplay. The shooting and the way you control this drone, which is the lock-on camera, but it always is firing, like similar to the guns in Devil May Cry, where you always have infinite ammo to just kind of keep the enemies at bay. This drone that you're always shooting always kind of seamlessly transfers into when it's a shoot 'em up mode and you're dodging and shooting projectiles back at you. It always just works seamlessly, and it's hard to explain. It probably sounds weird, but it is absolutely so much fun. The combat with the heavy and light attacks and combos and dodging is a lot of fun as well. You know, it's like DMC or Bayonetta or Metal Gear Rising, but it's really just the variety here that I love so much. Not to mention, the game is stylistically gorgeous, I think. It doesn't have the best graphics, but it looks nice. It's got a lonely feel, but I really love the soundtrack. The soundtrack is really good. The overworld, the towns, everything about the soundtrack is very different and weird and strange, but catchy, and it's always stuck in my head to the point where I'm downloading it and listening to some of it in the background while I work or in the car. And it really just nails that for me. All the movement, all the going around, the side quests, the regular RPG type stuff works here. Even the way you outfit yourself with different ships and you have to allocate memory space, it's very clever. You're doing it in menus that look really cool and classic. I'm totally gushing about the game, I'm sorry. What I do on this channel is I just like to talk about the games that I like, so I don't really want to complain too much. But Nier is even good from a story standpoint. It probably leaves the most to be desired in the game. The characters may annoy some of you, but I was surprised this game looked like just some silly anime game. Not to discount anime at all, but it's really more of like a sci-fi adventure, which is incredibly interesting, where humanity is basically forced off of planet Earth to live on the moon and space stations, and then they send down androids to fight machines that took over the Earth and fight for humanity's behalf. And it's cool. There's some really interesting moments where the story goes, and it, like I said, it's not perfect. It's very interesting what they do at the ending after the credits. I don't want to spoil that, but it's really cool and really like experimental and transformative. That's super huge words that I don't mean to like exaggerate at all. I think the world and the story is very interesting. The characters are probably not the best part of that. Maybe some people will like them more, but the main character is 2B. She's interesting enough. She's got a really cool butt I'm a fan of. And thankfully, the voice acting ain't so bad. It's just a really fun, satisfying, and somewhat challenging game sometimes that I really want to recommend because I don't want to see this game go under the wayside. It has been getting more and more attention, and I'm so glad because I think it's really special. I'm going to be thinking about this one for a long time. I also just really like action hack and slash RPGs with guns and sci-fi and stuff, but the fact that this game takes it to another level is what really made me appreciate it. So again, if you can't tell, I'm definitely recommending this game if you like sci-fi, if you like a little anime, if you like action, fast-paced, slashy with RPG elements, totally go for it. But I do want to talk about it with you guys down in the comments. If you have been playing, without spoiling it, what do you think of the ending or endings? Most specifically, what do you think about the ending after the credits? That credit sequence ending is really interesting, and I want to hear from you. If you haven't played it, what do you think of looking at gameplay and hearing me talk about it? Do you think it's something worth your time? Let's talk about that stuff because I really want to hear from you, especially if you're a Nier fan. I definitely want to hear how you think this one holds up to the original, but we can talk about any of that stuff Thanks for sitting around and watching me ramble, talk about games and stuff at my desk at work. But you guys know the deal. I'm Jake Baldino. You can subscribe because video games.